Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tools and Gear. Today we're discussing a very discussed topic, and that is what should I pay or how much is it going to cost me to build a deck. Now we're getting into the end of deck season, and the wood prices over the last little while have gone sky high, but they've started to come down. So we wanted to post a video not only to show what people should be getting in terms of a simple deck, but roughly kind of what to expect in terms of cost as it stands right now. A couple months ago, the prices would have been a lot higher, and we'll get into a couple more details on that once we get into showing some of the figures and things like that. So we've started a little spreadsheet here, and this is all the materials and quantities you'll need for a simple 10 by 10 deck. Now you notice we don't have any stairs, we've just got the deck. We've built the stairs out separately down here, and we've priced accordingly. So most people do want stairs, but we have run across a couple of people that do not want them. We're basing the scenario on someone back of the house that has an existing deck and wants it replaced. So just a couple of quick notes. We base our materials and pricing on the Canada and here in Halifax, the HRM building code. I'll leave a link for what's required for HRM building code in the description. We block in the middle of our decks. We also block around all of our posts. So this includes the blocking. We always include joist hangers. But we also include hurricane ties for attaching the joist to the structural beam. This includes post and beam saddles for the concrete attachment for the post, and also the post to the beams. A lot of people either don't include those, or they'll only include one, which means probably the post saddles. The beam saddles are just a little extra precaution. We also include a 2x6 top cap for the rail. Makes it a little more beefier, and it just has a better look. We've also switched over to more of a premium deck screw, and we use GRK structural screws. The premium deck screws aren't that much more than regular deck screws, but they have an added cost. But we find they're a little bit better screw. There's not as many issues with them, and they don't strip out. So as you can see here, we've got everything you possibly can need for your materials. We've got the ledger board, the screws, the flashing, the adhesive, the nails, saddles, joist, even the concrete and the Bigfoots for the sonotubes there. Here it's code for not just to have a sonotube, but you need to have a Bigfoot 4 foot down below the frost line, and then your sonotube, and fill that with concrete. So that stops it from backing back up and moving. Our deck boards, they're 6-inch deck boards. This is all brown or green pressure treated wood. And these prices are based on what's available right now. And we used Home Depot's website to get the latest pricing. But around here, Kent Home Hardware, and further out central, I guess Lowe's would probably be similar pricing, but check your local area. Your prices may differ. And as you can see, we also have like cut and seal. We always seal our cuts with the pressure treated cut and seal, even the paintbrush that comes with it. So this is a fairly detailed list on exactly what you need. And we've got all our quantities here pre-built in. I'll leave a link in the description for all of these quantities if somebody wants to take this and use this as a base. So we've got our quantities and all of our pricing, and it gives us a total here of $1,811 $2,324.04. That's pre-tax. There's the price with tax, and we've breaking everything out into a square foot price. Typically, when you're dealing with a contractor, they will base everything on a square foot price. It's just easier for them to calculate it instead of going and getting all the material takeoffs all the time. So you can use this as well at home. It makes it easier to just give you a simple layout, and then you can go and basically use the square foot. So we've done the same thing for the stairs. We've assumed that this deck is, 5 or 6 feet off the ground. So it's a 5-step. Usually we've got all of our materials here and our pricing. And again, we've got the totals and a square foot price. So between the two of these, we can come up with our total cost. So a total cost for materials for a simple 10 by 10 deck with a set of stairs is $2,312.45. With tax, $26.59.32. So that gives us a couple of different square foot prices, $23.12 and $26.59. So typically when you're getting quotes, you will get a non-HST square foot price. If you're basing it on doing it yourself, you always want to account for the HST here in Canada. Taxes are very important not to forget. Now, that's just the material. So we've also included a labor. We've broken things out down further, one with labor and one without. So if you're planning on doing a deck yourself, then we've got a cost for you. If you're getting quotes from a contractor, this will give you a good guideline on what to expect when you're getting quotes. So typically, when contractors quote, they'll get a material, and then they'll, for the simplification of quoting, they'll double the material, and that's what they get for their labor. So here we go. It's the same as your total cost there. Sometimes it'll be a little bit higher because the posts usually aren't included in the labor, they are included in the labor, but they're an additional cost depending on what type of conditions are needed to dig the post for the son, or dig the holes for the sonotube. Again, here in Nova Scotia, they have to be 4 feet deep. With the Bigfoots, they have to be a 2 foot wide hole at least to get the Bigfoots down. So it takes quite a bit, and especially if you hit rock, you are in for a long day of digging. We base our holes on 2 people can usually do a 10 by 10 deck, which would require 3 holes. We usually say that's 2 people, half a day. So that's accounted for right here. And then a lot of people forget about the demo. There is a cost in removing an existing deck if there is one there. So again, we've kind of ballparked that at 2 people, half a day. Again, $400 if you base it on $50 an hour, which is kind of the industry average right now. Other charges that you need to be aware of: delivery. If you are getting, your wood delivered instead of picking it up, the box stores usually charge around $100. Sometimes it's less. The last year or so, it's usually been around $100. And another thing to consider is getting rid of the garbage from not only the old deck, but any cut-off materials from building the new one. So if we go down further, we've kind of got 2 things broken out. So one price here is no labor, so building it yourself, doing the demo, digging the holes, doing basically all the work. And this is including the delivery and the garbage removal, because there is a cost to that regardless. So we've got an updated cost here of $2,512.45, which gives us a rough cost of $25.12 a square foot. Again, if you're a homeowner, don't forget the taxes. So when we go into taxes, we get $28.59, and that's a good base there with this 10 by 10 example. Now, when you're getting into larger decks, say it's a 10 by 20, you're getting into more holes. So it's going to be more labor, more materials for the structure. So that's just a rough cost. It could go up a little bit depending on how big your deck is. The bigger your deck, probably the square foot price will go up quite a little bit there. Now, with the labor, so this is a good guideline for looking at quotes when you're getting them from your contractors. Again, we've accounted for all the labor and the digging and the demo and everything that's in this list right here. And as you can see, the price does go up quite a bit. We jump up from $25.12 to $56.25, and that's roughly what your quotes should look like from a contractor. They won't give you the price with the HST in it, so you have to account for that all on your own. The other thing that this does not account for is when you're getting materials from a contractor, if you're asking them to get your materials and supply and install, they will typically mark up the materials. The industry standard right now is 10%. So when you go and ask them to pick all this stuff up, they'll put a 10% additional charge on the final total here. So this $1,811, they'll add another $181 to that. And that is mainly for financing the materials up front, doing the sourcing, doing the material takeoffs, and going and picking up the materials if needed. So that's why most contractors will add the 10%. It's to cover their cost in terms of doing all the work, administrative work up front. So you can expect to see, most likely, that if this is our price right now, it's probably more likely to be closer to the HST amount, which is $58, $59 a square foot. That's probably where most contractors are living at these days. If you see anybody that's significantly lower than this or significantly higher than this, that's where you got to kind of watch out, ask a little more details from them. If they're significantly lower, ask them, are they a registered company? Are they pulling permits? Are they guaranteeing the work? What type of materials are they using? Is it, built to code? Those types of things. If it's more expensive, then either they could be just pricing it that could be because they're so busy, or they're not aware of what their costs are, and they're just basically shooting in the dark and trying to make a lot of money. So I hope that's useful for most people. It's a good starting point. We use something similar for our company in terms of doing a square foot price. We try to update it as quickly as possible, especially this year. The prices were changing basically every week, so it was tough to keep up on it sometimes. So, but I could tell you our price at the peak of the summer was higher than $60 an hour. But now we're into these ranges, so it's a good sign from the industry. Hopefully this makes some sense to most people, and it gives you a good baseline to look for a deck project next year.